Clar Obscur. Expedition 33 is the prime example of when passion, talent, and creativity all come together to give you an experience that you will never find anywhere else. And this game gave me that to the highest extent. I finally finished beating Expedition 33 last night as a recording of this video, and I have nothing but the absolute utmost love for this game. Now, I don't really do reviews a whole lot, but this one I felt like I had to, because I could not only talk about this enough, but just gush over it. So, join me here as we talk about Expedition 33, my review of the game. Just as a disclaimer, this review will be spoiler-free until the end of the video. I will place a timestamp when the video hits the spoiler zone. When talking about gameplay, Expedition 33, which I will be calling it for the remainder of this video, has one of the most interesting and surprisingly complex combat system, which I would say is the bread and butter of this game. On surface level, it is turn-based, and I know for some people that already they don't like that, but I beg you to give it another shot because the way that the game is played is so different than any turn-based I've ever played. The game that I would most conflate it to in terms of the gameplay loop would be a game like Sea of Stars, where you, even though you are doing an attack, taking turns, you still get to do special things in between. So for example, when you are in your attacking stage, you will have your chance to use basic attacks and a few items. You could use spells that are very much in depth, and you have an ability to free aim. Now, free aim allows you to shoot magic at your opponent, and depending on where you hit them, you can actually either weaken them or even stagger the opponent, which I thought was really interesting, all at the cost of your ability points. And if that sounds kind of interesting, it's because it is. Now, and that's just on your attacking side. When you are being attacked, you actually have the ability to parry and block other enemy abilities. Now, there is like a window for the chance to block or a chance to dodge, and that is awesome because depending on how you play, it gives you full control. I expect to see 0 damage runs in this game. It's highly possible. And not saying it's easy, absolutely not, because oh boy, the timing windows on some of these, especially these parries, are not easy. And a lot of monsters in this game have their own set of ways that they attack. But learning and watching very feels reminiscent to almost a Souls-like of trying to memorize how these bosses and how these other enemies fight. And when you do, it comes together in the most visually stunning ways. To give an example, one of your characters that you meet early on, Luna, she is more or less a mage. And because of it, she has an ability where every time she attacks with an elemental weapon, she gets an elemental charge. Now, those elemental charges can be used to either buff attacks, can be used to either heal. It's really dependent on how you play. The game is very in-depth and allows very, very different kinds of gameplay, which I absolutely adore. It's fun. No characters play the same from each other. They all play differently. And I find that absolutely fascinating because it also makes the team building that much more unique, tailored to the player. And with all those ways to dodge, to attack, to cast spells, and with every character, it allows the game to be able to push you in multiple different kinds of ways that I don't think we've really seen in a lot of turn-based games as of the last several years. Additionally, out of combat, you do have a lot of chances to level up. You will be in your menu system quite a bit, leveling up your characters in multiple of different ways, along with leveling up your weapons and so on and so forth. There's a lot of different weapons in this game, and each one have their own unique abilities and their own unique ways to play. So I think that's even more in-depth and even gives even more complexity to this game, and it adds to it so richly. And to even top it off even further, we do have other passive abilities that can be leveled up and upgraded as well, allowing you to not only, I said before, tailor this game to your experience and play style, but do it in a way that'll make you absolutely love the game in every aspect. While the gameplay is, I think, the highlight of this game, there is a lot to still love about it in other aspects. Coming up with the next section. Getting back to the audio and visuals, this game is by far one of the most visually gorgeous games, but aesthetically pleasing games as well. I find that the use of colors, how the worlds all look, just absolutely take me back to a time where I was young and everything just felt so anew. I loved how these worlds worked. Every place looked different. Every place looked unique that you go to. The open world even still looks gorgeous. The character designs, I think, are very, very well done, and you can see an array of emotions from them that I think does a fantastic job. Overall, I couldn't be any happier with the way that the visuals looked. I think my favorite place is the underwater. It's like an underwater world where like everything is floating above you. You're like on the bottom of the ocean, and it's just visually so gorgeous. Every place feels unique, it feels alive, and that not just with the characters, but even with your monsters, the enemy designs as well. The enemy designs in this all range from what the fuck to like just visually appealing to the eye. I couldn't ask for anything more. And that entail goes with the audio as well. The soundtrack in this is absolutely amazing. It has a haunting beauty to it, something where you know that there is a sense of wonder, but at the same time a sense of dread. The music in background music, combat music, everything gets me just hyped because it puts me on the edge of my seat, and I know that something's going to happen. It's amazing. I haven't felt this way since I played Nier Automata, and the music in that one is also top notch. I would put the music, in my opinion, right up there with that. I found it, every time I listened to it, it was absolutely amazing. Something that I did forget to mention in my gameplay aspect is the fact of audio cues. Audio cues in this will save your ass when it comes to playing any part of the gameplay, because when you are dodging and parrying, listening for audio cues will help you stay alive. And this game does a really good job with it. I think it's actually very smart and very clever, but it'll give you a chance to know that, hey, this is when to attack and this is when to dodge. Moving back to what I want to talk about before, which is also the voice acting. The voice acting is stellar. They have some really big names in this game. Actors like Charlie Cox, Ben Starr, Andy Serkis even, and I thought that was he plays it amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Ben Starr is become one of my favorite voice actors too. He played Clive in Final Fantasy 16, and I thought he was amazing in here as well. And I kind of always joke that he has this like aggressive whisper, and I love it. I absolutely do. I love it. But everyone does a fantastic job in this. I have to say, the real knockout performance of this definitely goes out to Jennifer English, who plays Mael. For those who don't know, she played as Shadowheart in Baldur's Gate, and if you like Baldur's Gate, you're gonna like Mael here. She is one of my favorite characters, not only in the game, but voice acted incredibly well, and she deserves all the props. As I said before, the audio, the visual in this is absolutely stunning. I think this is honestly one of my favorite parts of the game, and just everything is such a passion project, and I love every aspect of it. Finishing off with the story, because I think this part is also so good as well. And the story is amazing. To give you a gist of what the story is, every year these people who live on this island end up having to be erased from existence. And they get erased by a being known as the Paintress, who is a giant monolith of a figure who sits on the other side of this island. They can see her, and every year a big number appears above her head, and she wipes out that number, and everyone within that year, up to that year, gets absolutely erased from history. The job of the expeditioners is to go and stop the Paintress. Now, they don't know how and they don't know why, and that leads to the fact of calling it an expedition, but they are the 33rd expedition, and everything that happens beyond that is wild. As a premise, it's really good. It's intriguing, and as the story unfolds, you want to learn more and more and more. In addition, this has deep, complex characters and world building that I think is absolutely stellar. I loved even some of the side characters are absolutely pleasant to be around, and they really fill this vibe in a sense, in a world of just dread and at the same time wonder. The situation seems hopeless. You're basically trying to fight a god, and this alone gives you this feeling of every victory feels like an accomplishment and one step closer in an unending situation of pure terror. In conclusion, Expedition 33 is just amazing. I recommend this game to anybody who has any questions about it, and if you really are not sure or don't like turn-based, I would still give it a try either way. This game is worth your time, and that gives it the full stamp of approval. Clar Obscur Expedition 33 gets the first ever Afrofish Platinum medal. And for those who don't know, I don't know a ranking list, but I just came up with one on the spot. Alrighty, I hope that everyone had a fantastic time and liked listening to me yap. So I will say now we will actually be getting into a couple bits of spoiler territory just for fun. So for the spoiler, this is super off script. This is just me and my thoughts on it. I'm gonna say this game is so fucking good. Like, I want everyone to go and play this game. I really, really do. I think everyone would enjoy this game wholeheartedly without any hesitation. This game is just amazing. This game is honestly just amazing, and I would put it up there with the best of any game right now that has came out, and probably will be a contender for the Video Game Awards as Game of the Year. I don't really like Game of the Year, but the Game of the Year thing, like, oh, this game's gonna be Game of the Year, no, but to me this is a fantastic game, and if they do put it up there for the awards, it deserves it. Like, oh my god, this game is just so good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I think my whole thing with Verso I thought was awesome. I loved everything about it. Mael, I loved Seal. I thought there was a weird part where you do some of the romance, or like the romance stuff, not really romance, but like relationship stuff, and like at one point, I'm pretty sure Seal and Verso fuck. If you do the romance part of it, what I thought was kind of odd, because then she tells me right after she had a fucking husband, and I was like, oh, okay. But I thought that was funny. I thought that was really funny. But like, honestly, everyone does such a good job in this. Like, the boss designs are really cool and unique. I'm not gonna lie. I think some of the ones I hated them. Oh, that Bogan, the one that eats your fucking character. That one's the one that got under my skin. That one got under my skin a lot because it was just annoying. The funny story, for those who are still listening, I actually forgot to use Pictos. I forgot to use Pictos, and like, you can upgrade them until the very end of the game. And then I realized that I absolutely crushed it. Like, I completely did not use Pictos until I got to the creation boss fight. And I thought that was funny. So oh my fucking god. I cracked up because I had a friend of mine who was like, oh, why don't you use Pictos? And I was like, upgrade your Pictos. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you fucking mean, upgrade my Pictos? And he's like, yeah, you gotta upgrade your Pictos. And I was like, oh, damn, I guess I can. So, but yeah, I made my characters absolutely like fucking tank filled. But I'm gonna lie, the ending really had me. Beating the curator was already, or Renor was already bad enough. Like, it wasn't actually that tough. But I really think it was the choosing between Mael and Verso, and I chose Verso. Because Verso's made the most sense to me. Like, I understand it through the emotional weight of Mael, who's basically is just existing at that point. But in reality, I also get from Verso's point of view, and it made more sense to me that, like, if you choose to just stay in this fictional world, then you are a hypocrite. And I think that alone made me realize that, yeah, no, she would be an absolute hypocrite. Like, I understand her choices, and I agree with it, but then I was equating it towards, like, even something like, you know, how do people deal with grief, and they go into things like alcoholism or something, and, you know, if you don't, she's not changing anything, so it'd be like her just drinking the bottle too, in my opinion, and just like not trying to do anything. And to me, that felt like, yes, Verso's made the most sense. Like, their ending made the most sense. And I think the ending of it, where they're standing over Verso's grave, and then she sees all the other people, her friends and stuff, and they all disappear, I think is her moving on. And I think that made the most sense to me. That being said, oh, my ass would be in a fucking painting so goddamn fast, like, but yeah, so that's all I got for a little tidbits of spoiler stuff and just kind of raving about the game. Other than that, you guys have a great one.